Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, innovation come together. My name is Epi Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Abdul Hadi Siraj, founder and CEO at Mean3. Abdul, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Always great, man. You know, life is too short not to be great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Abdul, great to connect. Obviously, these are the short format conversation we're doing with the people, the founders and CEOs and the leaders. Before we jump into the leadership and innovation, let's start first with your journey. What sparked your passion for technology, and how did that early love evolve into launching a tech company while still in a university, which I believe that's what it was, right?
Yeah. So, from a very, very young age, I was part of gaming communities and stuff. So I was very passionate about how games are being developed, how it is developed and stuff. So I always wanted to become a game developer, and that is how I selected the top IT university. I wanted to do the practical work mostly. So during my university time, I started getting projects, and that's how it started.
Nice. So tell us what M3 is doing. Mean3 is doing.
So currently we are operating in three countries: US, Middle East, and our back office is in Pakistan. And we do web development, all kinds of web customizations, web application development. We are very famous for e-commerce. We are official Shopify expert, Shopify Plus experts. Then we work on WooCommerce, Webflow. Then we work on OpenCart, Magento 1, Magento 2. So we are famous for development. Then we also offer digital marketing services for our clients, so that it's a 360 solution. They don't have to go to anywhere else. And during these since we are operating since 8 years now. So during these 8 years, we have served more than 300 clients globally, and we are doing good. We were invited by Shopify itself to the New York headquarters among top 15 high valued agencies that were selected, and that is how it's going, and that is what we do right now.
That's amazing. So that transition, that from being a developer to become a business leader, uh, give us what does it take for building a team, have a professional team, and operate with customers in US and other parts of the world.
Yeah. So the transition wasn't overnight. It was a journey of evolving responsibilities and continuous learning. So as you know, I started as a developer. I loved building products. So eventually, I started taking on projects under the title of Mean 3. So the word itself was derived from mean stack, MongoDB, Express, Angular, and Node. So we started derived the word from mean stack, and then I started learning all the strategies that a company does, from onboarding to documentation to deliveries, contracts, etc., etc. Because when when you are a developer, you have no side of what's being done apart from the development cycle. So then I started hiring one at a time. My first hire was a designer who can build the visuals, creative, etc. Then with time, I started adding more developers, expanded my services to digital marketing. This helped me understand that being a developer was not enough, as I was the one man army. I had to do sales, I had to do client communication, development, QA, then after sales support, like literally everything from renting office, renovating that space, every single thing that probably one has not done before. Each step became a lesson, and I kept on improving. I think calling yourself CEO is not the tough task. Being the actual CEO with the responsibilities is a very tough task, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's uh, a lot of the times when we think about these, we think about the leadership, and what does it take until you are in those shoes
In
and you
those
need to
shows.
feel the responsibility that you have. because the responsibility as a leader is to grow more leaders like you, to replicate
Definitely.
yourself, become a become in a way omnipresent in a business. So that's where the business can
And that's
run
how you
without.
can scale, yeah.
Yeah, and so the question is the uh, how do you maneuver, especially today? So the environment today is hyper competitive, and to build yourself a business, you need to build leaders that's going to build your business as well. How do you stay relevant in a business environment? Now we're moving to a Web3. There's a lot more new application that comes in. Tell us, like, what do you do to stay relevant in your business?
The thing is that we have to keep on learning. Like, I make sure that we a team does constant uh, courses. They get certified for a lot of stuff. We keep on aware of all the new technologies that are coming in, and it's very important. We have seen other top brands going down, so we have to make sure that we are ahead of our game. Like, for example, the technology age right now, AI is getting into everything. So it's very important to adopt those technologies, learn those technologies. And I always tell my team that it's important to learn, but it's more important to unlearn and relearn the stuff. Reason being that a lot of people, they get stubborn that, okay, no, I know that stuff, but times are changing, things are changing, the processes are changing. So we have to make sure that we strategize our ways, our processes in a way that is more efficient in the age of technology, in the age of AI these days. So we adopt those latest features, we adopt those latest technologies, we train ourselves, and we go in the market with those stuff.
Yeah. Now, was there a moment where you had to make a difficult call that ultimately defined Means Three future?
Yes, it happened in the early years of Meme 3. So what happened was, like, initially, when you're starting a business, you look forward for capital, you try to raise investments, you want people to come in and invest. But a lot of people which I was meeting were a very traditional investors. So what happened was, I got an offer to sell some 50-60% of my company's share to one of the traditional investor. And that, I think, that was a difficult moment, and that was the ultimate decision that defined Means future. Because that investor, they wanted large stake in the company. They wanted the involvement in operations, they wanted the board seat. uh, Again, board seat is also fine, but they wanted a C-level position in the company so that they can learn the operations, they can participate, they wanted to act like partners. So that was a difficult decision for me, so I turned them down. Reason that I thought that, okay, I think my philosophy, my vision would be changed if someone else is obviously deriving the decisions. So I think that was dropping them, saying no to them, was the ultimate decision that defined me in this future. Otherwise, someone was else was talking to you. Maybe they were not mean. Maybe me didn't survive that is without me. Yeah, maybe I'm not sure.
uh, Sometimes I go through journeys where you need something, right? You need to get it, and you don't get it, right? And there's this disappointment that kicks in, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that probably happened to you as well. But then you look back, you overcome that challenge, and you look
Yes.
back and say, "Thank God that did not happen."
Yeah.
Right? Was that the moment
Everything.
that it happened to you? Said, "Thank God that did not really happen," and now you're like, now you run the company. healthy company, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it's all about how you make decisions. I think the most important part of a CEO is what you decide. It's not about anything else. It's how important, how good you are as a decision maker. So if someone else is making a decision, they are not aware of the industry, they are not in this from this industry, then I think it's difficult for them, and maybe that could have changed every single thing.
Yeah, actually, it's so true, because there is a there is a book that I am reading. It's called Decisive. It's how to make better choices in life
Yeah.
and work. It's written by Chip Heath and I think Dan Heath. I think they're brothers. But it's a great book and talks about the uh, you're a friend of mine actually tells us all the time. He said like you are a compilation of the decisions that you make in life, right? And
Agreed.
so that's where some of the decisions you make in life. But being decisive and be able to make the decision quickly is so important in the as a leader.
Yeah.
Um, has that improved over the time? Obviously, we make a lot of wrong decisions, and
Yeah.
you learn from it. Uh, Tell us, like, what 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 learning you've gone through it, and now how well equipped you are to make a quicker decision, better decision with future partners and so on.
So I think initially, like I mentioned, I had few people on board with me in Mean Three, and they took a lot of time for decisions. Like I remember, I visited the office for rental purpose, and I saw that, and I just decided that okay, I'll take that. And later on, one of my guys, they were like, how did you decide, how are we gonna afford it and stuff? So I said, we'll think about that later on. But that decision, if I take decision, and I think if I wouldn't have taken that decision, the future, obviously there are a lot of decisions that you have to make every day, regarding the employees, regarding the pricing, regarding closing the clients, contracts, and everything. There are a lot of small decisions that help you out. So, yes, if you take a lot of time in deciding, you get confused. You can obviously, as a CEO, you have to take risk, and all your risk depends on your decisions. So it does not mean that you decide everything without calculation. I think the most important part is risk analysis. So I calculate the risk, okay, what worst can go wrong, and then I decide that okay, what is the worst case. Then if I think the worst case is bearable, then I decide using that.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of like knowing that if that worst case you can still live and go on without being hurt,
Yeah,
then you can just make that decision on a fly, right?
definitely.
But if it's something that you cannot live with it, right? And this is what truly a lot of people are struggling today, I believe, is because they're making wrong decisions. We're living in a world there's a lot of confusion, right?
Yeah.
And so their mind is being contaminated. How do you keep your mind clear? I mean, today it's so much bad news, so much economy tanking in this country, that country, currency is falling. How do you keep your mind clear?
So what I do is I think I try to relax more and more. So what I do is I don't get involved in a lot of uh, stuff that obviously that punches your brain, that demotivates you. I don't do all of that stuff. I prefer that okay, when I come to office, I'm fresh enough. I have to make sure that okay, things will go wrong, and it has been going wrong for a lot of companies. So I think history, that is very important. So I read a lot of books. I try to read a lot of case studies. So I see that okay, it's not just us. People have seen this time, people have seen these challenges before in a different era. So how they have coped up from that, how they have dealt with that. So using that, and I tried what I'll tell you my secret. So what I do is I learned from my seniors, I learned from other books, I try to learn from case studies. So I go to other people, I ask them their journeys, I ask them their histories. The big CEOs, they have been operating since 50 years, 60 years, then international CEOs. So I meet a lot of people globally. So they tell me that okay, we saw this, we faced this. Then I sit back and I see that okay, maybe probably they have faced the worst and they have come out of it, so I'll come out of it as well, and we'll come out of it as well. So it's very important that you stay calm, because a CEO's journey is always in chaos, and as you say, it's very lonely up there. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you have to be prepared for that. You can't panic on the bad situations. You can't panic if your clients are going, if the currency is going down, if there is, there's war situation globally. So we have to be prepared for that.
Yeah. Famous Andrew Agassi, a famous tennis player, used to say, "If you don't prepare, you don't deserve to win." Right,
Yeah.
and so you don't train yourself, you don't deserve to win the game. And that's well said. Uh, Abdul, the last
Yeah.
question is, what does the word bold mean to you?
Bold, I think it's basically something courageous that you do. You have to be bold enough to make decisions. Like we are talking about decisions. So a lot of time when we decide something and the people say, "Oh, wow, that was a bold decision." So that's very important, and we make sure that like in life as well, you have to be bold enough. So that is one of the philosophies as well that people have followed. They have been courageous, they have been fearful, they have been bold enough. So I think that is one of the words that is similar to courageous for us.
That means to you? That's great. Abdul, great seeing you. Thanks for joining me in this short format conversation, Bold Talks. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Until that time, be great, be bold always.
Okay, thank
Take
you,
care.
bye, take care.